Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2020. I'm Chef Mike Jerez.
And I'm John Baruti.
And we are the
Million Dollar Food Guys.
Well, welcome to 2020. You believe that? A new decade?
Can I just say, I really like the fact that it's 2020. Like, we're only going to have this once in our life. If you think back, like, so the only other time, 1919, right? You have 1919, and we're in 2020. We'll never see 30-30.
Right.
I know I'm a mental patient, but these are the things that I think about.
No, that's probably right.
I'm just ecstatic that we lived through 2020.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, okay. So
2020.
Exciting year.
Fun fact, 100 years ago.
Oh, okay. Fun fact, yeah.
1920.
Okay.
Started the Volstead Act and Amendment 18th, which is also known as Prohibition. It started in 1920, and it lasted for 13 years in our country until it got...
was it 13?
Yes, until the repeal.
Okay.
In 1933. And it's funny because the Volstead Act, or Prohibition, was made to have everybody stop drinking.
Okay.
Well, it just did the complete opposite. Everybody drank more
I'm sorry to laugh, but...
everybody drank more during Prohibition
than they did
when it wasn't, because everybody wants what they can't have.
So can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Do you think cannabis, pot, is going through the same situation? Do you think the federal government is going to start accepting it, right, and let everybody sell it? And it's going to be like the end of prohibition for pot.
I don't know. That's an interesting topic, because it is very big, you know, especially with all these like CDC oils. But also too, real quick before we get into that, is that the most deaths ever in American history was during Prohibition. Also,
the most deaths,
correct, by American people. No, dying of alcohol poisoning. Oh, because a lot of the alcohol was made in their tub and their kitchen sink, and it was all made with poison. It was made with formaldehyde to get the alcohol content up. It was made with
like a big historian,
rot liquor, as they like to call it, and it killed more Americans than any other time in the United States.
That's amazing.
Was during the Prohibition, because people, again. People, as us human beings, we always want what we can't have. So a great, when they were talking about the 1920s, a guy says, well, maybe they should outlaw toothbrushes and toothpaste, because then everybody want to brush their teeth. Made sense, right? It's pretty funny.
Okay.
The dent, see that? But anyway,
moving along.
So the good thing about the cannabis, and talking about that, because it's used as CBD oil or whatever the hell it's called, and all these vape joints, and everybody's smoking weed. And
not only that, they're shutting down. Jersey's trying to shut down all the vapes except for regular.
Right, but even the vapes that they smoke the pot in, because really, I don't know anybody that smokes regular cigarette vapes. They all smoke the weed vapes.
Really?
Yeah, everybody's getting high on that shit. But you know, our governor proposed to make weed legal. Strike that. Reverse
weed it. Weed legal.
Correct. And he failed to come through on that. So all the potheads and stoners and everybody voted for him. Yeah. Good job on that. Thank you very much. Are now hate him now because he didn't come through on his promise of making weed legal.
Well, so talking about Governor. What's his name?
Murphy, sorry.
The $11 minimum wage, right?
So 2020, very prosperous, but also has 2000. Comes the new year, comes new problems, also new issues for the industry. One, in New Jersey, the minimum wage went up. Obviously, every year it goes up, so now it's $11 an hour.
Next year will be $12.
And so forth and so on.
For seasonal, it's $10.30. And I just told Mike, he didn't know, but the servers and wait staff are $3.13, I think. $3.13, $3.33, I'm not sure.
Right. But so that went up $1 because it was $2.33.
Oh, so it's probably $3.33.
Yeah, it went up
to
$1.
So that's probably what it is. So yeah.
But again, you may seem minimal, and you might be thinking, "Wow," but on the bottom line on our end, it's a lot of money. It adds up. And when you're trying to run a small business in New Jersey, these numbers add up, and it makes it more difficult every year. So, things in our next video, we're going to talk about how to combat these high costs that are happening in New Jersey right now. Yeah. And, what's funny about the governor, speaking of the governor, this guy, he's anti-small business, he wants to destroy all of us. But yet, you know what? He's at my restaurant every single week in the summer, eating dinner. And he scammed me a couple times too, trying to get in. And I'll tell you the reason why is because he not him, his assistant, but it was based on him. Okay.
Okay.
We're a very small restaurant. We're booked 2 to 3 months in advance in the summer. There's no seats.
You sure you want to go this way?
I do.
Okay, sorry.
Controversy wins. There's no seats in my restaurant. 0. Okay. It's very, very, very small place. Okay. So smart people book a month, and I get a call from his assistant 3 days before he wants to come in, and says, he wants to come in with just him and his wife. Sure, no problem. We can set that up. Two is always easier than 4, 6, 8, so forth and so on.
But he has his detail that he has to travel with.
Correct, and I know this because every governor in New Jersey, and I've been there 20 years, has been at my restaurant. Their mansion, summer house, is right down the street from my restaurant, so they frequent my restaurant quite a bit. I went through a lot of governors. Met most of them, hung out with most of them. They were all great except for this dope. So anyway, I tell his secretary, I go, listen to me. He always comes in
not
with
even
a
an
detail.
ounce of alcohol right now, not even a little bit. But go ahead.
Not even. It's daytime. That's why we haven't started daytime drinking yet. But what happens is that his detail says that I said he always comes with a detail. They're not coming with that. It's all good. And I'm like, I know this. So smart me went to my hostess staff and said, listen, make a contingency plan that if this guy comes in with 4 people, to make sure that we move the tables around, and which he did. He came in with the 4 people. They lied to me through their teeth.
This was, a Saturday during summer?
Of course. Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? 8 o'clock, busiest time ever. We had to push some people out of the way, and for this guy.
Now listen, I'm not a Murphy fan. I'm not. But I want to be fair, right? Because so, did the detail eat?
Yes.
Did I guess the state picked up the bill?
No.
He picks up the bill.
Correct. Out of his own personal money.
So he picks up the bill for all of them.
Correct.
Okay. So just being fair, I know I understand you 1,000%, but he did come in and paid for food for both. Okay.
Correct. Out of his own pocket, not through our money.
I want to be clear with that. And I'm not a Murphy fan, but I want to be fair.
Every single governor also always paid out of their own pocket for the security detail when they were out for dinner.
Okay.
The state never paid.
Do they have to do that?
I don't know if they have to, but the state never paid for any meal in that restaurant for a governor or security detail or staff. Nothing.
So we're not a political station. We're gonna move this along.
And you know what? I'm gonna take your money. I'm gonna bang you triple and cha-ching, cha-ching. And let me tell you what. This guy drinks high-end bottles of wine.
Okay.
He eats high-end food.
Good. God bless him.
His check's $600, $800, $1,000. This guy is not shy.
Right.
He's drinking heavy hitter stuff. He's eating heavy hitter stuff.
So maybe not be so upset.
I'm not. No, listen. The rule of the game is I'm gonna take all your money.
Right.
Not that I'm a little tiny sand dust or what he has.
What you're upset about is that he's throwing his weight around.
But he's throwing his weight around. But he's also, loving my place. And the first couple times never talked to any of my staff. Never said one word to anybody. People are coming up to him, talking to him. He's like, but never a thank you to my manager, my kitchen staff. Never peeked in the kitchen. Never said nothing. As time went on, I guess he became more comfortable. So he started talking to the kitchen staff, thanking him, and the wait staff, and everything was great, and so forth and so on. But people still come in, and they walk up to him, and they take his picture. We're like, you think Bon Jovi's in there?
Right.
They surround him, and that's where he has to have security detail.
He is the governor.
So it is a popular thing, but, our whole philosophy is F you, pay me.
Okay. Circling around, talking about the $11 an hour.
Ling, 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 ling.
So, Mike, we had this conversation off camera. So I have right now a staff of like 26 at the bakery. Out of the 26, only 3 people still remain at the $10 an hour minimum wage, right? Had to raise them. Listen, they all do a great job. So I understand, I raised them. But you got to understand something. That's an extra, just for 3 people, for an extra $120 a week. Right, so that has to come from somewhere, right? So part of our next episode is we're going to talk about how to combat that, right? We have all these costs going up. As a business owner, how do we survive, right? We got to cut costs. We have to raise prices.
Absolutely.
We have to renegotiate deals with all different our vendors and stuff, because how do we survive, right? So that's new year 2020. New problems, new issues.
New issues, yeah. I mean, that's what it is. And I got to tell you, in the long time I've been doing this, it's not getting any easier. It's actually every year it's getting more challenging and harder. And, the phrase that it really drives me crazy is when people come to me and say, it must be nice. I hate that word "must be nice." When they tell me it must be nice to be an owner of a very successful restaurant.
Right.
Oh yeah, it must be nice, but pay my bills and tell me how nice that really is, and what the costs are really, really associated with.
And the fact that we both have seasonal businesses, and people don't realize that, yes, we make a lot of money, but we make a lot of money only over a small period of time. That lot of money has to go over 12 months.
Absolutely.
Which Michael right now is closed down. The restaurant's closed, right?
Correct.
For the next
Yeah, we're
month,
closed for
right?
yes.
The ice cream store has been closed since October, right? So that money has to last.
But the bills still come in. I mean, every week the bills are. It doesn't matter if we're closed.
Have to pay the mortgage, have to pay the rent,
right?
have to pay the insurances, have to pay all that stuff.
You know, I mean, there's still utilities that got to be, even though we're not there. The utility bill comes in, but there's no money coming in. So if I didn't do good business and save that, you know, and had that money to float,
which thank God, 2019 was a great year.
Very prosperous. Yes, very.
We were able to pay our bills, but it's getting harder.
No, it's getting harder, and it's scary in a point because let's just say for poop and giggles, that 2020 is not a good year. We don't have a prosperous year. Then
it could happen.
And with costs are being up and everything, then we're going to be in trouble.
Could be a rainy weekend every weekend, right? We could have a miserable. You're going to open up in a couple of weeks, and it could be a miserable winter.
You know, I'll tell you a quick funny story too. Is that a staff member came up to me and wants to move on in his career and wants to open up his own restaurant. You know, and so he consulted with me and said, "Listen, I want to talk to you about." You know, what do you think? You know, I have some money put aside. I'm thinking about doing this, this, and this. And after I got done telling him the real logistics of owning a restaurant, and besides the labor, the food, the payroll, the cost to run it, the rent, all that stuff, you know. What you're truly left with at the end of the week for a new business being opened up is going to be negative.
So did he say he wasn't going to do it?
After considering it, after a month, he told me today. He goes, "I'm scared to death." He goes, after you're talking to you and seeing what the way it's going, I'm scared to death. Yep. Now, 15 years ago, I would have said that. 15 years ago, I was like, yeah, go for it. Yeah. You know, and become prosperous because back then the costs were lower. You know, think about all the margins that, even when I was taught the margins, 18%, 15 to 18% labor, long gone. Those days do not exist. If you're even at 25, you're doing well. Yeah. Okay? Food costs.
Especially for mom and pop.
Food cost, mom and pop places. Food costs, right? The magic number was 28%. That was the magic number. Everybody had to be at 28 and you're making money.
And for our next episode, we're going to, Mike more than me is going to discuss on, because I asked Mike, we talk about our episodes and stuff, so I'm going to hit on the financial stuff on how we could save some money. Mike is going to hit on some dishes that he feels we can make more money on, but it's still even
because let's say 28%. Okay, that's like I haven't seen 28% in years. Okay, I'm lucky. And listen, 35 is like the true real number. 35, 38 is the true real number.
Well, I mean, so let's clarify though, because in your business, right, you're a higher end restaurant.
Correct.
Pizzerias can still get away with 28. It used to be 20, but it's probably more like 28%
for them.
For
probably,
a pizzeria. And here's the other thing, and this is what I'm going to talk about in the next episode. Like, everybody doesn't really understand their food costs. You really don't. Like, I'm 20%. No, you're not. You're not. Did you really do your food costs? Oh, yeah, I think I pay $7 for tomatoes. And then they go to their bill and like, oh, wow, I paid $19.99 instead of $7. I used to pay $7 5 years ago. Right. Like, the menu, people aren't keeping up with the cost. And this affects everybody because you go into a mom and pop restaurant, right? And chicken parmesan is $12.99. You're not making money at $12.99.
Nope.
You're not. Nope. You go into, not even to say a fast food restaurant, but what do they call fast, quick service?
Yeah.
Restaurant. You're paying $15.99, $16.99, right?
Listen,
you just are.
And it backs up. Not that we, the owners, are gouging to make as much money as we can.
We have to be in business.
It's because the cost of the goods, the products, and it's not just the food. It's the to-go container, it's the to-go bags. If you're in that takeout business,
talking about
it's and you deal with that,
have
right?
Gotten ridiculous.
I mean, through.
But we had
I just got
aluminum. They're like everybody's got these special super. Like, what are you paying for that?
I just got aluminum pans in that we use for some catering stuff. $87 for aluminum pans. I'm like,
absurd.
what? This should be $20. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
But so it's not even that, but. Besides that, too, utilities have gone up.
Yeah.
There's been an massive increase I've seen in my cable, in my internet, stuff that I need to operate through our computers and our POS system. These are all little things that have gone through the roof.
And I want to talk to you about
and you add all that stuff up.
Real quick, and it may bleed into the next episode, but the POS system, we've talked about this before. I know Mike has an issue with this is a big deal with Mike, and we've talked about it. Employees, food, drink, the things that they take. And my suggestion last year to Mike, and listen, he's been doing things the same way for years, and I know a lot of people have, but at this point you have to look and say, I have to change. There's ways to maybe, because I'm not in the restaurant business anymore, but maybe instead of just letting the employees free willy take whatever they want, sodas, coffee, dinners, whatever. And again, I'm not saying don't make them happy, because listen, a happy server goes a long way. That happy server is going to make your customers happy. You want them to be happy, but it needs to be within reason. And a lot of times they don't even realize how much they're costing you.
Correct.
When you hear psht, psht, psht on the soda machine every 3 seconds, the soda is no longer $20 a pack. How much is it?
Oh God, it's
$70, $80
around
for a
75.
thing. So
Coke,
it was only a couple of cents. It's not. It's not a couple of cents anymore.
No, it adds
so
up.
maybe with the POS system, if you give them, I don't know, a card and say, hey, this is your expense for the week or the day or whatever, and then they have to use that to actually buy, technically
I got you.
buy what they're ordering, or food, drink,
Right.
and then when they're done, they're done. The card's empty for the week. It's
Well,
empty.
I'm scared. That it's a great concept, and it is on paper. But
Is it
try
doable?
to
Can you do it, or
it might be tough.
but couldn't you just give them a gift card?
I think what would scare me the most, if I saw that number at the end of the week,
You
I
would
probably
finally say you're out of
I'd
your
probably
mind.
jump right through the window.
Yes,
because
yes.
it's not even like
But
the
it's
soda.
something that's gotta
But
happen.
for us, it's like the cappuccinos, the double espressos. You know, my staff comes in hungover from the night before. They drink 4 double espressos just to open up their eyes.
Yeah.
Well, at $2 a pop, we're $8 already for one staff. Times that by 20. You know, you're in a hundo, because coffee's very expensive. Again, we're using good quality coffee.
Right. But this is a conversation I have with you.
Yeah,
It's
we're
a
not
conversation that
buying.
has to happen.
We're not buying shit, but they're not drinking like a regular American. Let me have a regular cup of coffee.
What's
They're
your
doing
fear?
double
That they're not
espressos.
good, that they're gonna revolt, and they're gonna say, "Well, I'm not working here because you don't give me this."
No, I feel that they just won't. They'll give up on the caring about their job, and they'll be like, you know what? You don't care about me. I don't care about you.
Yeah.
I don't care about throwing this out. I don't care about charging the customer. You know, I take care of my staff very, very well, and anybody who's ever worked for me in the past or future knows that my staff is very, very beyond well taken care of, and we always challenge people because when they go, oh, well, I can do it. Go out and see what it's like to work in another
I
restaurant.
say the same
See
thing.
if the grass is green on the other side. And 99.9 of them, they come back and go, wait a minute.
They don't realize.
Wait a minute. Whoa, you know, and
No,
that happens
we go
to me.
over and above for our employees.
It
There's
does,
no question.
and listen, and that's happened over 100 times for me.
Yeah.
I mean, at least 50 times this summer.
No doubt.
You know, a guy leaves to me. He's a line cook, making $14 an hour. Well, Applebee's is going to pay me $15, and they're going to give me full benefits. I says, okay, but Applebee's is going to give you 20 hours a week. You're getting 60 with me. Do the math.
No drinks, no sodas, no
Nothing.
food.
Applebee's, strict corporate things. Okay.
20% discount, maybe.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no. It's not like that. Okay. 1 month he was come back begging for his job. He goes, they're only giving me 20. I go, of course, because they're paying $50. You think they're going to give you 40 hours a week? No. It's corporate.
Yeah.
They're working on 15% labor. Are you out of your mind in real time?
But what I'm saying to you is what I'm saying to, because I know, because my dad was the same way, right?
Right.
I can't, the words were, I can't do that. I can't, but the reality is, to stay in business.
Not can't, but find maybe another way. That's maybe.
But get the staff in a meeting and say, listen,
Right.
guys, I don't want to take anything away from you. That's not what this is about. But I have to make money.
Yes.
I have to make money as a business, because if I don't make money as a business, none of us are here tomorrow.
See, what I do is we have, you know, and this is another being a great employee. In the summer, our kitchen gets about 135 degrees. We have a thermometer on the wall. That we have a small kitchen with no ventilation, and you could easily. I passed out before through heat exhaustion and heat
sucks.
stroke. So what happens is I have to keep my staff hydrated,
Right.
Because it's like a car. You have to have gas in the car,
doubt.
and you got to keep that engine running really good when these guys are pumping out 300 dinners. So. As a courtesy, I don't do it in the off season, but in the during the season, I buy. I go above. I buy 40 cases of Gatorade.
Oh, jeez.
All different flavors.
Good for you. I don't do that.
40 cases.
I'm a scumbag.
And that
I buy tons of water,
And
but not
that,
Gatorade.
I tell them, I go, listen to me. That's got to last the whole season.
Right.
And what they do is they learn to squirrel it away.
Right.
And pull out 3 cases a week, put it in the fridge.
Right.
But I go to I tell them 3 things. I don't want to see any bottles around. I don't want to see any plastic.
Right.
I don't want to see half drunk ones.
Right.
You finish
God,
it.
that drives me nuts.
There's rules to the game. And they play by it because they because I'm kind of doing the right by them, so they do listen to me on that one. Because I said the minute I find a half-empty one sitting on the counter, we'll never do it again.
Yeah.
It's real simple,
Yeah.
So they do play by the rules and they follow it.
Okay.
But the respect I get and the
For that. Absolutely.
and the hard,
Listen, that's definitely over and above.
and the little extra work that they do, the little extra cleaning, the little extra staying after.
Right.
I mean, listen, summer. I'm very blessed. We have the means to buy that.
And I'm not saying stop that.
But
you got to rein it in.
Right in the off season, I obviously wouldn't do that. I mean, that's just it doesn't exist.
Because listen, we're not only talking about for you. Forget about people that are watching. For you, we're not only talking about soda and coffee. You allow them. You know what I'm saying? Other stuff.
Yeah, but
and it adds up.
The other thing too is that my biggest thing was I get my reports every day of what we sold and everything. And let's say we have a 300 dinner night, and I look on how many coffees were sold and how many sodas were sold and how many this, and I only see like 20 coffees, and the red flag goes up. I'm like, okay, 300 people, only 20 people got coffee. We're selling 85 desserts. I highly doubt it.
Right. Oh, interesting. So they're not. So you
They're
think?
not punching it in.
But why would they do that? That
Just because they just go grab a coffee and they don't put on and
because it's not benefiting them because it's not going on the check if they're not getting the percentage.
Correct.
It's just laziness or they're too busy.
Too busy, laziness. But for me,
listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a $2.50 or $3 cup, whatever it is, a really good coffee, right? But it's not the coffee; it's the cream, it's the sugar, it's the biscotti we put with it, right? It's the candy stick we put. It's everything that comes with the plate, the coffee cup. People don't understand the coffee cup that my busboys break every single week that I have to buy. The glassware that I spend, and the silverware that I spend.
Well, one of my suggestions is, I keep saying the next episode, but we keep going on. But one of my suggestions will be is like people don't capitalize on their coffee programs. They don't. Like there is so much money, like even more than liquor. There is more money in coffee than there is in liquor.
Absolutely.
And people don't even my mom and dad had a bring your own, so we had to capitalize on that.
Yep.
You have a liquor license, which you're fortunate to have.
Yes.
Your margins are a little better, right? But even you, if you're not, especially if they're not charging for it, Jesus, but you can capitalize on the things you need to capitalize are things like that. Coffee programs, give them wow them with that.
Our biggest thing is pushing after dinner drinks and coffee drinks,
right?
Because the coffee drink is huge. Because now you're at $9-10 for a cup with a shot of Bailey's or everything. But I don't like coffee, but I love hot cocoa, so we do hot cocoa drinks too. Okay. So the same alcohol, Bailey's and hot cocoa. Share. I mean, it's delicious, fresh whipped cream on top, and that's $9.
Yep. And these are the things you have to think about. How do I make my profit better?
Right.
Well, if I'm pushing coffee programs and not even table tents, but your server coming up and maybe even having a small plate of a cup of coffees already made with the little hearts in them, saying, "Hey, would anybody enjoy a coffee?" Because the typical response normally is not as much for coffee, but for dessert. No, thank you.
Right.
I'm full. Right. So, but
and you know the reason why on that?
Yeah, why is that?
Because the way the server approaches the table.
Yes. But wasn't there a study on? I think
because
a certain
what the server does,
you go with a platter.
Well, it's all about the wording.
Right.
The server goes to the table. Hi guys, are you ready for some dessert tonight?
Right.
Would anybody like any dessert tonight? 99% of the table is going to go, no, we're full.
Right.
Okay. The way to do it is you go to the table is, tonight I have this wonderful creme brulee. I have this. I have that. Let me put a little something down in the middle of the table. You're telling them what they're going to have, not asking them.
Interesting.
You tell them and don't ask them, and your dessert sales will increase by 50%.
And is it true about the platter one? With the dessert, if you go with the actual,
right? People actually see what eyes. Correct. They do that.
20 or 25%.
But the issue with that is you get more waste
because of that, because you're making the platter.
Correct, and you're putting. You can't keep putting the same. Some places do, and you can't be putting the same dried out piece of cheesecake on the platter because what people do at the end, they take that platter, they put plastic wrap, or they put it in the walk-in.
Yeah, and it looks like shit.
The next day they open it up, they'll change the strawberry, change this on it, but it's still the same.
Like
so after 3 or 4 times, that dessert looks like a crusty old piece of shit that it looked like it was on the boardwalk for a month.
Yeah.
So what do you have to do? That goes in the garbage. All right, you just threw away $20 worth of desserts.
Yeah. No,
so you know.
And especially because of the cost. I mean, you make some of your desserts, but other things you buy, the costs are astronomical.
But see, our thing is, okay, so back on that, if we have like this really special, like if we have a 12-layer chocolate cake that's like this high, like stupid high, what we do is we'll put a piece of, and it's all about visual.
Right.
Okay? And this is my marketing. We'll put a piece on a nice plate, we'll decorate it, and no one ordered it yet, but I'll have a server walk around the dining room, lost, don't know where to go, a visual to see everybody. And when she low, eye level with all the tables, walking around going, oh, where does this go? Make sure everybody sees at the table, looking around going, I don't know where to bring this, by the bar. Every table head turns, and the next 10 minutes, 15, 16 orders come in.
I can't tell you how many orders times. I'm very decisive.
And we do that with everything.
When I go to a restaurant, it takes me 2 seconds to look for something and order it. I'm very decisive. My wife, not so much. But my wife will always look at everybody else's table. Always. And, what is that? That looks delicious. So you're right. It's all about the visual.
Same with like the steak. We have a big tomahawk. We'll stand the bone straight up. The bone will be this big.
Walking through the dining
and hold the bone up in the air.
Yeah.
Everybody's eye. We call them the head turners.
Yeah, that's true.
And that started back in the day with fajitas.
Okay. So, as usual.
Did you know that? Did that start with fajitas? I'm giving you all lessons today.
What are you saying to me?
Okay, so fajitas, which is made in Texas, not a Mexican thing at all. It was Tex-Mex food.
Oh, so fajitas started in Texas?
It started in Texas, correct, not in Mexico. And what they did was they took this cast iron skillet, they heated it up to 600 degrees. They took the fajitas, onions, peppers, a little
big
bit of
fajita
sauce,
fan, by the way, but okay.
and put it on the 600-degree skillet.
For the sizzle?
For the sizzle, and squeeze the fresh lime on it.
To walk through the dining room?
To walk through the dining room. So as you're walking through the dining room, it's popping, it's smoking.
See what happens when you go all the way to the end of the videos, you learn stuff.
And they right before you bring it out, you squeeze the fresh lime, and it's smoking.
Right.
And it's going, and the smell you get, the onions, the peppers.
Do you know who did that? Do you know who started it?
It started in Texas. Yep.
Interesting.
And so now, it's called the fajita syndrome. So everybody's head turns and looks. What is that? And they're smelling it. Next thing you know, I want that. I want that. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Interesting.
So it started back in the 70s with that. And
learn something new every day.
And we've done fajitas at Marlins. We've done fajitas at a bunch of restaurants.
Do you know where 86 came from?
I do not know that.
86 came from New York City, obviously.
Okay.
Right? And there was and I don't know the full story, but the reason I know this is because I gave my wife a new thing. We're selling a lot of shit this year. I got a lot of stuff. We're selling it. So I created a new company. It's called My86it.
Okay.
.com. Just to sell stuff. So we sold a lot of the bakery stuff, a lot of stuff.
Right.
So I wanted to know the history of 86. I'm like, so where did the word 86 come from? In a restaurant, if you don't know, somebody says 86, it means take it off. Take it off.
We're out.
We're out of it. We have none.
We're out.
So apparently there was a restaurant, and next episode I'll have more information, but there was a restaurant, I'm pretty sure it was in New York, on 86th Street.
Okay.
Right? And it had nothing to do with getting rid of stuff. It had nothing to do with it, but for whatever reason, the 86 stuck with getting rid of stuff. I'll get you a better story because mine sucks. It's much better. But that's where I
remember the word used to be called deep six. Also, people say deep six.
Oh,
you ever hear that one?
No.
Deep six means to throw out.
Yeah.
Deep six it, and
that sounds more like a porn thing, though.
Oh, whatever.
Okay, sorry. All right. Back.
So again, a visual with the fajita syndrome. So everything I learned that
I definitely made a left turn there.
But the funny thing too, and then we're gonna go on to the next episode.
Yes,
but,
we need to.
The funny thing is that when I did fajitas in the restaurants that I've always had, my favorite thing in the earth was to quiz the server on what makes the fajita sizzle.
I didn't know it was a lime.
Okay, and it's not the lime.
Oh.
It has nothing to do with the lime. But what makes the fajita sizzle?
It's the
and
juice,
everybody goes, oh, it's the sauce, it's this, and I'm like, no, it's the 600-degree skillet.
Oh, right, okay.
The 600-degree skillet makes it sizzle.
Right, of course.
Not what you put on it.
Right. Anything
you can
sizzle.
put water on it, it's going to sizzle. 600 degrees. Right. But when I tell you how many servers would look at me like this,
Where does that skillet go? In the broiler? Like, how does it
We
get...
keep it in the oven the whole entire time.
But the oven's not 600 degrees.
So anyway, listen, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button and ring that bell.
2020.
And subscribe. 2020, we're trying to get over 100.
Trevor, what are we at?
We are at 88.
88 subscribers. Now,
right,
we
so-
said last time we were trying to get to 100 because
Correct.
we were both going to give something special. Right?
Yes.
Which basically means that you're going to give a gift card and I'm going to give a gift card from you from the restaurant and us from the ice cream store. So you got to get us to 100. How we're going to choose the person, I don't know that yet.
We'll figure that out.
We'll figure that out.
Yep.
It'll be very biased, unbiased. Sorry.
We'll have maybe a poll
Maybe the
or a
100th
question.
person.
Yeah, well, I don't know how we're going to figure that out, but we'll figure it out.
I think you can tell the subscribers.
So we'll do that. So 100 subscribers, ring that bell so you get the notifications when we make these crazy new videos. And make sure you subscribe because up-and-coming videos coming with the new year.
Yep.
We're going to be on location at a couple of different
We're
places.
going to be doing new. We're going to be bringing some people in.
Some people in. We got interviews. We're actually going to go to their restaurants
site.
and places of business and watch them how they make money and do stuff and ask them a bunch of questions. So we got a lot of new stuff. And if you want to be on the show, leave us a comment if you have something to add to it. We'd love to have you on and voice your opinion if you don't agree with anything that we're saying, which you probably don't or do.
We don't really care, but we want to hear from you.
We don't care. But it'd be kind of cool to leave a comment. We'd love to have you on and talk about what we're doing. So until next time.
We'll see you on the next one.
See ya.
All right, we're back.
right.
We ran way long.
All right, so let's add the end in there.
Okay. Maybe bring it down more.
Let's see.
What do you think? All right. Well, we're rolling, so
We are rolling.
okay.